The NBA is home to some crazy moments, and through the heat and passion of the game, sometimes things get out of hand.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa. We got Humphreys. Oh, Humphreys and Rondo get into it.
Oh, watch out. Fight. Watch out. Lopez and Ibaka throwing punches.
Fight. We have a legitimate fight here.
And let's be honest here, we've all gone to YouTube and searched crazy NBA fights because who doesn't like a little drama? And while we see it happen on the court a lot, sometimes it carries past that. One that comes to mind most recently is the Jokic-Morris scuffle, where Nikola Jokic seemingly destroys Markieff Morris after taking a cheap shot to the body. Players came face to face, Jimmy Butler per usual yelling to meet him in the back, but eventually everything settled down with Jokic and Morris both being ejected, but it didn't end there. Because Markieff's brother, Marcus Morris, quickly chimed in on Twitter stating, "Waited till bro turned his back, shaking my head, noted," which makes it seem like Marcus Morris was out for revenge against Nikola Jokic. But if you didn't know, Nikola Jokic has a couple of brothers who are kind of known for getting involved in Jokic's scuffles. And they replied to him saying, "You should leave this the way it is instead of publicly threatening our brother. Your brother made a dirty play first. If you want to make a step further, be sure we will be waiting for you, Jokic brothers." Both huge Eastern European men, one of them being a pro MMA fighter with a 3-0 record. So probably not the best family to have beef with. And with this now iconic picture of Miami waiting outside the Nuggets locker room going viral, it's not the first time a team has tried getting into the opposing team's locker room. A lot of you probably remember the Rockets trying to get into the Clippers locker room after their heated scuffle in 2018, and this was Chris Paul's first game facing his former team, so it was highly anticipated, and this matchup was chippy from the start. Blake Griffin and Chris Paul both bumping heads, some words were exchanged, but things took a turn once Blake started getting cursed out by the Rockets head coach. Mike D'Antoni was not holding back. And it just got worse from there. Trevor Ariza shared some words with the Clippers bench, then Blake stepped into that and ended up getting ejected. Tempers flared, words were exchanged, but the game still ends with not too much harm done. But that was not the last of it, because Chris Paul, Trevor Ariza, and James Harden found another way to the Clippers locker room while Clint Capella knocked right on the front door. Words shared, people were angry, but like most times, nothing escalated past that. Twitter was going crazy with the memes for this story, and even Shaq and Chuck couldn't keep it together when it happened.
They're laughing at the incident. The whole incident. They don't believe these two guys, Shaq and Charles.
But let's be real here, when two teams are going head to head, doing everything to win a game, it should be no surprise that fights happened. What is a bit more out of the ordinary are when those issues are between two members of the same team. Now, there are quite a few situations like this, but one that comes to mind is back in 2009 when All-Star Gilbert Arenas was arguing with his teammate Javarius Curtin about a card game gone wrong. And most people threaten to punch someone in the face, but these guys threaten to shoot each other in the face. Yes, Gilbert Arenas and Javarius Curtin both pulled out guns in the Washington Wizards locker room. Thankfully, no one was shot, but Gilbert Arenas and Javarius Curtin were both suspended for the remainder of the season. And after this incident, paired with Gilbert facing a lot of injuries during this time, seemed to be the beginning of the end for the All-Star guard, because he never returned to his previous form after that. And that might sound bad, but that is nothing compared to what happened to Javarius Curtin in the next couple years, because he was sentenced to 23 years in prison after pleading guilty to resolve his 2011 murder case. Now, that's a dark ending to the story, and not all of these teammate stories end in such a gruesome way, but teammate issues have definitely broken up teams, and some good ones too. Going back to the James Harden, Chris Paul led Rockets, the year was 2019, and they found themselves tied 2-2 with the super Golden State Warriors in the playoffs. Looking like a real threat, people thought the Rockets could really defeat the team that no one else could. Well, they lost 2 straight games to the Kevin Durant-less Warriors. James Harden and Chris Paul's relationship was already questioned a lot, and shortly after their season ended, a story was released about Paul and Harden having a pretty intense argument in the locker room when Chris Paul reportedly called out Harden's physique, meaning that Chris Paul said James Harden was fat. Chris Paul was later traded that offseason for Russell Westbrook. Ironically, that same Warriors team who beat those Rockets went through a similar but even more severe situation, because that Golden State team was arguably the greatest team of all time, who were broken up because of an argument. While Draymond Green and Kevin Durant did clash on a few occasions, one moment in particular that stands out happened during a game on November 12th, 2018 in an OT loss to the Clippers, when at the end of regulation, the Clippers missed a potential game winner. Draymond Green grabbed the rebound, took the ball up the court, and ended up dribbling the ball off his own foot, which led to a heated argument between the two teammates, starting with KD repeatedly yelling, "Give me the effing ball," and as things escalated, Dre told Kevin Durant, "We don't need you." Looking back, that was a mistake because even KD said that this argument did have something to do with his departure from Golden State. While it played a big part in it, it wasn't strictly the argument that broke them up because internally it was never discussed, never even brought up between the two. Warriors GM Bob Myers even sat Draymond Green down and told him to apologize to Kevin Durant for what happened. And we all know Draymond Green, he wasn't going to take that lightly because he felt disrespected. And the media definitely did not help because, as they always do, they blew the whole situation up and made it something so much bigger than it was. Things didn't really get better, and it was even reported that during their last playoff push in 2019, Kevin Durant didn't even talk to his teammates. We've seen so many amazing teams break up because of internal issues like the Super Team Warriors, the Shaq and Kobe Lakers, and even the '98 Bulls. It's just crazy to imagine what would happen if these guys just saw eye to eye. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video. That helps out tremendously. And also make sure to subscribe. But until next time, I'm out.